Oh, there you go. Damn, I'm like all the way zoomed in. Hey y'all, how y'all doing? Mhm.
Hey,
And
can you hear me?
yeah.
I don't dang. Hey, I need to find somewhere to set my other device. Hold on.
Okay.
Hang on. If anybody here.
All right, so why they come in? Today's topic I put it at the top. Why the nuclear family needs broken women. A few points I want to cover before we get into the discussion. Uh, the nuclear family is only one type of family. There are multiple different family types. Anybody who's in the Discord, I posted an article about the contrast of what happened, the transition was going on in India, and how they're going from a joint family or multi generational home to these nuclear families, and how it's actually changing the men's behavior and the woman's role. Because they have less adults there. You have the woman taking on more of the domestic roles that we see over here in the West, and also like men becoming more hyper masculinated. Because the nuclear family for women specifically, it isolates you, right? It
Mm.
focuses on the caregiving, and like managing the family strictly on the women. Um, Also, it said women are praised for holding the family together, not for like being supported by like her partner and his family or whatever. And in some cases, women become dependent on men. I know there's a like the trad wife narrative going around, and we have to consider like, yeah, if you there's a book called The History of Marriage I was listening to. If you are married to somebody who has enough income to support you, I wouldn't even necessarily say kids, but to support you, and you can go and network, you can travel, you can explore your hobbies, and you have like a security net that might work. But in a way that is being pushed that like this person is paying all the bills and you essentially are doing all the housework. I mean, you don't go anywhere. It harms women's autonomy to do things, and a lot of times it can end up being abusive. Um, let's see. And then we know for men, there's no accountability. I know the extreme cases is sexual assault and domestic violence, but if those become the case, if that becomes the case, there's no one. Yeah, you got like a noise. I don't know what that is, but there's no other adult to hold him accountable if he. You got to think if he's larger than you. That's that's not safe at all. But for this one, I really want to focus on like what happens when we have this idolized fantasy of like what a family structure should look like, and then as a woman actually become. I don't know what that noise is, when it's
Is
like,
it?
yeah,
Did
it's
it
like
just turn on?
I don't hear it right now.
I
Um,
think. Hmm. Can you hear now?
it's gone.
Okay.
I don't know what that was. But for what was I saying? Yeah, so like when you are a woman in like their late stage adolescent years, between 18 and 25, where you're supposed to be becoming like this independent person, where you're like pushed to be in relationships. If you take that time and like really focus on yourself, like travel, you can date. Dating don't necessarily mean being in like a relationship. or sharing your body with anybody, but just getting to meet people, traveling, figuring out what you like, being comfortable with yourself. The idea of what's expected in a traditional nuclear family doesn't sound as exciting as it does when you think about it as it for a lot of us when we was young girls. Lynn, did you want to comment at all? Something that was said, or
No, not right now.
okay?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Another thing is too is like when we look at the amount of women who are initiating divorce, right? It's interesting because that's used as like a talking point, like, oh my God, you're divorcing, um, and you want to leave just because you're not happy instead of like actually looking to see what the hell is going on. And a lot of women, again, they go into these marriages like it being this idolized, like um uh like structure in the household. But then when you get in the household, you realize, oh, I am the primary caregiver of the children. I am this person do depend on me to do all the domestic work. There are some unresolved issues and I can't hold this person accountable. And that's very stressful on women. I think also financial plays a role too.
Yeah. I think that was, I think, hey,
Hey
can
y'all.
you hear me? Is the noise still there?
Yeah,
Now,
can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that was like what we said the other day, how women have to come to terms with that's the type of society that we're gonna live in moving forward. Like if you choose to mate, if you choose to be in a relationship with a male, you're going to have to you know, lay your boundaries out, and you're gonna have to be pretty much strict with your boundaries about how you want to be treated as a wife, because the men of our generation, they're simply not going to offer the assistance, or they're not going to, you know, do the right thing off the strength of them just being like, wow, I'm also an adult in this relationship, so I should be providing just as much labor as far as like taking care of the children, or um even taking care of the household. And like they kind of rationalize it by saying like, oh, men are simple, you know, like we don't want to do that, or we don't have to do as much as y'all do because we're simple. But I think that all in all is just an excuse to not adult the same, you know.
yeah, it's interesting because it sound oh it's so simple and you're complicated, but the reason why it's complicated because you're not trying to understand somebody. Like, um, and it is gaslighting because it's like, oh, you just have to do these basic things, but where's the intimacy at? Where's the benefits of the relationship at? None of that is like being part of the conversation. Hey, Dark Horse, you on mute?
That's the button. Hi y'all.
Hey,
Hey, hey. Sorry. I'm traveling as a passenger right now. Sorry I'm late.
no, it's fine. We were just getting started. I had some questions I was going to ask after we got our initial thoughts out. Did you want to share anything right now?
This is a prompt for yesterday.
So I have it at the top. Why is the nuclear family needs broken
Oh, I see.
women?
It's a different format on this StreamYard, so I see it now. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Did everyone else already go?
Issa, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I had to use my camera stand, so
Hmm?
um well I could wait for Dark Horse. Um just so I can get my thoughts together. Sorry y'all.
All right, so we could just get into the questions. One of the things that come up for women specifically is the word sacrifice, right? It's seen as that, like in a household, you're supposed to sacrifice, right? There's the wife, the mother, you're supposed to sacrifice. Why do y'all think that is, and what does that mean to y'all when y'all hear it? Because it's supposed to be something that's like idolized, like you sacrificing um for your family, and it's supposed to be like this martyr role.
Lynn's on mute. I can go.
Oh, the I don't
Sorry,
know.
go
The
ahead.
sacrifice to me, um, like I was telling you earlier, the sacrifice to me just looked like you you not doing the things that you want to do to upkeep yourself, like as a woman. Uh, for example, like I was telling you, I was with my coworker, and I saw her, and she was so excited about just having a baby. Oh, I just had a baby, me and my husband. She kept talking about her baby, her baby, her baby, her baby. Um, and I was like, I'm not really interested. Right. Um, but she was making like little remarks towards me, like, "Oh, look at your shoes, they're nice. I haven't bought a new pair of shoes in like over 2 years." Like, and I was like, "Why not?" I knew why not, but I was like, "Why not?" And she was like, "Oh, cause I'm a mother now. I'm a mom. I just had a baby." Like, and I was like, "You can't buy yourself a new pair of shoes?" And she was like, "No, no, like my stuff goes to my baby." And then later on, she was talking about her husband's hobbies, and her husband like plays golf. He goes to the gym, and I was like, all that stuff costs money, and
Yeah.
you can't get yourself a new pair of shoes. Like her nails wasn't done. She was wearing like an old pair of ratty like leggings. Eyebrows wasn't done. Hair wasn't done. And she thought like it was like admirable. Like, what's the word that the men be using when they be like, oh, well, she thought like it was her duty to
Mm.
be kind of like raggedy in order to support her family. But I just thought that that was interesting. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That can't feel good. Go ahead, Dark Horse.
I was going to say that the sacrifice to me, oh, it's going to be heavy, but the sacrifice to me is literally giving up, giving up everything that would make you an individual. So if there's anything that's assigned to you as a woman and it reflects you as an individual, it's shunned, it's ignored. Sometimes it's taken completely off the board your entire life, depending on how much you care for others, or it's severely delayed till kids are gone and maybe your husband too, right? Then it's to get back to myself. I'm going to find all these things. But the sacrifice is essentially you erasing yourself. And that means that every single thing you do from the time you wake up until you go to sleep should be in service of someone else. If not, it requires questions, it requires someone stepping in because this role is never ending. So you have to have a substitute in place should you decide to step out of this role and do anything for yourself, whether it's a babysitter, whether that's your spouse, anything else is looked at as these roles cannot go unfulfilled for any amount of time on any day of the week. And if you do, you're going to be looked at as a selfish person. So there's only two options for women. It's only sacrifice or selfishness, but there's no humanity, there's no balance. And anything else, you judge yourself because that's what we were programmed to do. And others, of course, are going to judge and they're going to do it vocally or they're going to do it kind of behind your back. But either way, the expectation is that even your future labor needs to be reserved. So in your case, Lynn, she's reserving her future monies. Everything else is set aside and it doesn't have an end date. But the expectation is don't even do anything. If she had the money, if she had the time, it's still going to be a issue socially. It's going to be an
Yeah,
issue in her marriage, even if she were to do it.
yeah. And I was saying like I was saying earlier like I can't see myself like they
Oh, I
have
can't
to
put it
get
on Do Not Disturb quite yet. I'm not to where I can do that yet. But in 5 more minutes. But did y'all hear the rest of it before I go on mute?
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna mute up and let East go.
I was saying that I can't like my bad, East. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. I'm probably gonna be quick because can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm gonna be quick because Dark Horse, Sarah, I am gonna be quick. Because Dark Horse kind of covered it, where women are expected to sacrifice. Um, but in a way that women are expected to be a martyr for their families, and men are not expected to be a martyr. So men are supposed to sacrifice for their families, but then simultaneously survive and thrive. But women are expected to die for their families and not survive. Just be a martyr, something to be looked at as some like a saint, something to be remembered upon as someone that genuinely um, put her life, her body, her free will, her future on the line in order to do this holy, sanctified thing called raising children. Um, Whereas men are not looked at, men are expected to provide for their family, survive, and then live on to continue to survive another day, live on to go to work another day. Um, so yeah, I mean that's basically my thoughts on the whole sacrificing thing. Women, if it's kind of like when they say the only good victim is an unalive victim. Well, the only good mother is one that's willing to die for unalive for her family.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing. Because like when you say that, it's interesting because we hear the protector, and then women end up being the protectors. Like women literally be protecting the family. You got to protect the image of the family, X, Y, and Z. And when men say that the leaders or they say that the protectors, they just taking credit for what women do, which men have been doing for a very long time. Like for real, I think I want to focus on like the broken part. Like what do y'all think like a broken woman is? I think that might be a little vague, but I want to know what your ideas on it. Like when you hear a broken woman, because I feel like the default woman in society is a broken woman, to be honest. And if you don't want to be broken, you got to do a lot of work on yourself.
I think like another word for broken could be indoctrinated. Like if broken don't do the job, because when you think of broken, you think of maybe like mm, it's not necessarily low self esteem, but it could be just indoctrinated. Like you bought into the dream, like you bought into I like I have to be a mother, I have to be married, I have to like have all these things, like I have to, have the Disney fairy tale. Like, and my life not gonna look good without it because and I think like as women get older and they don't have and they didn't like buy into or acquire these things and you start to realize like it's more to life than that, it's more easily acceptable. I mean escapable. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because when I think about like the woman who feels like she has to sacrifice, like I was telling you earlier, Tara, that's something that I believed when I was like young. When I was like in my 20s, early 20s, I thought like, oh my God, yeah, like I can't wait to get a family so I can sacrifice and, cook and clean and do all this kind of stuff. But like 33-year-old me, like I'm not sacrificing getting facials in order to have a family. Like I'm not sacrificing going and to the gym so that I can have a family. I'm not sacrificing a lot of things so that I'm able to have a family. And the woman who will, like, have you stopped and asked yourself, is this beneficial for me? Like, what is this benefiting me? And when you look at it logically, like, it's not really benefiting you. Like,
Yeah, because women are conditioned from a young age to think about everybody else and not themselves. So it's like it's an easy sell when you're thinking about everybody else and what you can do for other people. Right?
yeah,
When you start refocusing that energy on yourself, you be like, hold up, what? This don't make no sense.
yeah. But
I was gonna say, oh, go ahead.
no,
Sorry.
just to wrap it up, that's why I was saying, like, I don't think you necessarily broken, yes, but also indoctrinated, yes, and also young, yes. But the overarching would be for me would be indoctrinated.
I think when I hear broken, it reminds me of the caged bird. Something that no longer like it's a caged bird where her wings are clipped. She used to be vibrant. She used to have beautiful colors. She used to fly. She could have been flying around the world, but instead she's in this cage. And um, if you know about the cage bird, like even sometimes when they have this thing where if they're in the cage long enough, they won't even try to escape. If they haven't used their wings for a very long time, it's almost as if they forget that they even have them. They no longer try to fly. They no longer have that fight. um you know what it also reminds me of is the uh the better analogy would be the horse that's tied to that plastic chair. The
Oh,
horse has.
the elephant analogy. Yeah.
Exactly. So
Hmm.
it's been tied to this, this immovable object for so long, it doesn't even try to escape anymore. It doesn't even know it has to until one point in time you could tie it to a plastic chair and it wouldn't even try. Like it used to be a vibrant thing, this vibrant creature that was free, and it was captured, and all of that is just gone. All of the fight is taken out of them and they just have accepted their fate, and that is just so sad to me. Just a woman that has accepted her fate.
Yes, I was gonna say too. It's not that the fire is the fire is gone. Please know that that energy of ours has been redistributed. Please understand when we say it's been redistributed, she has plenty of energy. That's why they're trying to, get one of these wife appliances. There's lots that women have to give. It's just expected to 100% be divvied out amongst children and the men. So they know the value or what have you. So we may feel like, the light is gone, the fight is gone, the energy is gone. It is for our own, self-serving needs. It is. And we may have some bare minimum, kind of things that we'll take care of. But believe me, when I say bare minimum, we'll eat last, we'll bathe last, we'll buy for us last, right? But the energy has been redistributed, and to the children, it is deserved, right? That's kind of what they're supposed to get. But what you realize if you've had a situation where there's children and a man, and there's children, you realize that there's more energy going to a man than it is to children, and that's crazy. That's crazy. Crazy because they're supposed to be what, independent, right? But when you realize how much energy goes towards them, you'll see that we still have it, and that's why the men want us. If we had nothing left to give and there was no energy, no ideas coming from us, no labor, no emotional support, we have a wealth. The well may stay on barely empty, most days, but that's because it's never getting a chance. It's going out constantly, every day. Whatever you get to refill in the few hours that you sleep, it starts to get poured back out as soon as you wake up, is what it seems like. But no, I do believe it. And when we get a chance to maybe rediscover ourselves, and put that energy back into ourselves, we will find the ability again to fly, right? We may stumble a couple of times, but we realize that we still have that ability, when it's not clouded, by so many other interruptions. And that the noise that men hear when, they claim children are around, and everything just seems to annoy them when it comes to children, that doesn't happen. When it's just a woman and her children. I'm going to tell you, most of the time, it's a beautiful freaking harmony. The house runs smoother. Everybody understands their role and how they contribute to the family. And it's usually a more pleasant and harmonious environment. Where everyone kind of balances each other out, and everyone kind of has a freedom to do their own thing, but they're not responsible for taking care of everyone else. Even the children have to serve and act different when a man is in the house, right? Whether it's keeping their voices down, whether it's someone on them about being meticulous about everything. The children act different too. And they also don't have their wings clipped, but and I want to say they don't figure out how to fly, but I feel like their wings are clipped, a bit, if that makes sense. So I think everyone will start to grow once they don't have the energy of someone who's always saying, everything is on my nerves. I just need time to rest. I just need peace or what have you. Sounds like you don't need a family and a wife. That's what I think. For the people who say, when I get home, I just need a second, or I don't want to go straight home. It sounds like you don't want that. It sounds like you need to go ahead and hire a maid and hire everything else that you need so that person can come in, take care of the house, and leave back out and leave you to your lonely ass life and your space. But if you feel like, family and people around you are suffocating you, it's a reason. The reason you're allergic to that shit. But I'm gonna mute up.
No, I agree. Real quick, hey Summer, hey Amar, hey Lady Q. I don't know who Deuce is though. I don't know who that is. And I agree with you. That's why when women say, the word selfish is so controversial, right? You're not supposed to be selfish. You only think about yourself. You're supposed to put these things first. But like men selfish as fuck. Like when Lynn mentioned the gym thing, I remember I was talking to this guy online and he was like, that y'all don't go to the gym, whatever. But the reason why a woman don't go to the gym and these men married and all with children be in the gym all the time, because they don't have like the expectation to do anything for the family. Like it's okay if I want to go to the gym. Like you ain't got no responsibility if you think about it. That's why I like when they talk about protection and it goes down to like if somebody come in the house. But that shit ain't realistic. Let's be for real. Like if somebody come in the house, where the hell you live at? People not just breaking into people's houses, and your house is less likely to be like broken into during the day, right? One and another one, some of y'all niggas can't fight. So that's that. And then when it comes to providing, you working the same fucking job you was when you before y'all got together, and you might have got a promotion being with her, but like you're not doing anything extra. So like they sell, that's what I'm saying. Even saying they're a leader, they're taking credit for women and what women are doing. And they sell this idea like, oh my God, because and we are taught from a young age that being with a man gives you so much value, right? So like they get away with not doing shit. I I remember fucking Thanksgiving and the men on the fucking couch watching football and all the women in the kitchen. What the fuck? Like what's going on? And it's interesting because especially if you was a girl with a brother, like you can see the contrast. I remember getting up early, washing dishes, and he's sitting there playing the game. Like it's so
Mhm.
crazy, it's all over the place, and it's like you just stop and think about it. Hold up, this like sound like a motherfucking trap because that's what it is. That's what it is, and there's nobody, like I said, there's nobody here to hold him accountable. There's
Mhm.
nobody there to hold him accountable. So when he's like, "Oh, it's beneficial for the children," that's absolutely not true. It's on you how you raise them kids. And when somebody say when they say they're a disciplinarian, you want to come in and whoop the kid's ass if they check you, not the mother. There's been situations where the father will team up with the children and go against the mother if it's for his benefit. But there's nobody there to hold anybody accountable, especially when you're with a man who's bigger and stronger than you. It's a setup.
Yeah.
Mm.
As a sister with only brothers, I can confirm that yeah, they're not taught the same life skills that we are taught. You know, I was just talking to my mom today, and I was like, "Did you realize that none of your sons can cook?" And she was like, "No, they can cook." I was like, "I'm telling you," and I have five of them. I'm like, none of them can cook. They don't know how to cook. And I was like, she's, and we had to go through it. And I had to call. We called one of them, and she was like, "Well, do you know how to cook?" He's like, "Yeah, I know how to cook." And I'm like, "What do you know how to cook?" He was like, "Hamburgers,
Yeah,
hot
we're gonna.
dogs." Eggs.
They can't cook. They can't cook any
Mhm.
meals. I was gonna say, Tara, too, on your point about the extracurricular and the selfishness part. Part of the indoctrination too, when you are raised that all of these things are your responsibility, is you don't feel like you can do anything that is self-serving until everything else in the house is done. And I'm going to talk about an uncomfortable point. If there is anything, and I mean one task in the house that needs to be done, I feel like I shouldn't step out and do anything for me that's leisure. So neither will get done. Neither will get done. So me rebelling is all right. I ain't washing no damn baseboards, but I'm also not going out and getting my nails done and going to the gym and getting a massage because that is reserved for what? As a reward after you get all your shit done, but it never ends. Men don't think about shit before they go to the bar or, go to the gym or take care of their needs. Because that stuff isn't on the list at all. Someone quote unquote has to ask them. Nobody has to ask them. You don't have to
Yeah.
ask anybody to clean their own space. It's
And
a
you,
trap.
and you got to consider the guilt, right?
Hmm.
Even
Yeah.
when you say doing something for yourself, you sitting guilty because not you got to check all the boxes and make sure everybody's taken care of. But then when you're doing it, you feel bad. Like that's insane. It's
Mm-hmm.
insane. And that if you're thinking about like through childhood and then you expected to get in this relationship, you never have time to be like only accountable to yourself, which is why I was saying it's so important to spend some time alone. Because until you get comfortable being alone, you want to still be trapped in it. Because the first thing you like, oh, there's nobody here, and you think you need somebody, but you're so conditioned, you need somebody to take care of. But then somebody you should be taking care of is yourself.
A part of the guilt too is having a for mothers is to know that they're probably going to come home to a disaster. We talk about weaponized incompetence a lot, and how men weaponize that incompetence is purposefully not taking care of the kids properly, not making a mess of the living room, the playroom, not feeding them an adequate meal. You find out that you've been gone for just have a nice little spa day. You've been gone for a couple of hours, and your child has been eating nothing but like fruity pebbles. Having to deal with the fact that when you go home there's going to be a bigger mess than there nothing is going to be done. That's also a way that women feel guilty, and the way we guilt ourselves is that it's like, oh well, he just doesn't know how to care for the kids, he just doesn't know how to keep the house clean and cook a proper meal for his children. He doesn't know how to get the kids ready for bedtime and put them in a bath and things like that. So that's like a deep part of it, and it just builds becomes to a point where it's like they're no longer wanting to do those spa days. We're no longer wanting to have like those um time to ourselves anymore,
And
so
that's
that's
not,
I
but
think
you do
that's how we end up being broken too.
But you do know that's why men are saying stuff like, "Oh, we don't need all the things y'all need. We don't mind living like this. We don't." Yes, the fuck you do. Yes, you do. Like if that was the case, you like I said, you be outside somewhere, living under a rock. You'll be living under a rock or something. But like it's supposed to teach you that like I don't really care about this. I don't care about the house being clean. I don't care about it smelling good in here. I don't care about none of this stuff. So then you like, well, if it's going to get done, I got to do it. That's a lie, though.
Yeah, absolutely. I've never been able to do the experiment, but I think men know. But I've never been able to do the I'm not going to clean or touch anything for 30 days or 6 months experiment because they depend on us being uncomfortable, right? So they're uncomfortable could probably go a year. I don't know how long men can go living in filth. I'm not going to find out. But they also know that we're not going to find out, right? So that's when you have to start making decisions. And if you're already tied in and locked in, whether it's a lease, whether it's a home mortgage, whether it's children and you're locking yourself in to take care of that for the rest of your life, and take care of somebody else for the rest of your life. But I think they understand that we're going to pull that. At some point, we're going to break, and we're not going to live in filth. And especially if you have children, have a baby, have a newborn. You tell them newborn moms, get your rest, go to sleep, the house will be okay. I don't know if they understand what happens biologically. You think everything is going to harm that baby. You're not going to sleep with no dirt. You're not gonna let no bottles not get washed, that baby not get bathed, but like everything that touches that baby skin not being washed and drafted on, that shit's not happening. So there's a protective nature when you have children, and even past the infant stage, you're gonna make sure that they have what they need and they're not living in filth. That's the biggest thing. We're not going to starve our children. We're not going to not have them have clean things. So you have to be um, discussing like them to try to pull an experiment like that, and you're not going to do that.
And then also,
You're not going to do it. Go ahead.
so the based on the empirical studies, men, in order to have like this biological like bonding with their children, supposed to do skin to skin contact, and they have to be like up with the babies at night when they like when you tired and you still gotta take care of the babies. They have to go through that because your body, like your brain, like has to rewire itself. And without that, they don't bond their children like that. And it's interesting because a lot of times we talk about taking off maternity care, but paternity care never comes up. And if you think about it, if when the baby comes, your sister, your mother, your aunt comes, another woman comes to help you, and he kind of just there, and then he go back to work. He's never bonded with the child. That's why like they don't really give a fuck about the kids. They don't bond with them. So like you already bonded, you had the baby, and now the baby here, and it's like it's still your responsibility. They supposed to be doing that. You're supposed to be sleeping and healing while he up with the baby all night. But they even convince women that stitches or not, whatever's going on with you, that's your responsibility. That's insane. Yeah, so I don't know. It's a whole nother conversation about like mothering under patriarchy. But when it comes to the end of the when at the end of the day, it puts you at a disadvantage.
Y'all just left work, so I'm in the car.
Oh shit, jeez.
Who's
What's up,
that?
dude?
I
I
just left
said,
work.
who
I'm in
the
the
fuck
car.
is that?
So who we debating?
We
Well,
Oh,
I don't know.
Terry, you look nice.
thank you.
Shut up, G.
Oh, buddy, Tara. I'm seeing Tara in a new light.
But don't be freaked out.
Anyway,
The
so
topic on the top. He didn't come in and
so
properly introduce or nothing. That's that male entitlement. He just came in and jumped in. I just want y'all to notice that.
Male audacity. You didn't even apologize for being late or anything.
I just read Tara's TikTok message, so and I just left work, so
And you should still apologize for being late, G.
I'm sorry. Do you accept my apologies?
We accept it.
Okay, why the nuclear family needs broken women? Are we starting yet?
Yeah, we've been here for like 37 minutes.
So let me think about this.
Do you want
If
us to give like
listen, because
our
I have criticisms of the nuclear family.
What's your
well,
criticisms?
Specifically now that it is way too collectivist. Um, I believe that some individualism is okay. Some type of individualism is okay.
Nuclear family is
Uh,
individualistic.
why do you think that is?
You can look it up. It
No,
separates
I
you.
don't want to look it up. I haven't looked up
It
anything.
separates you from the community. It's
can
like
you
you
hear
together
him?
with your family, but y'all isolated from the community.
Okay, okay, I get what you're saying. So you saying a nuclear family is individualistic, specifically for women, because their only connection is to their husband and kids, and not um, their extended family or friends or family. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, you're not connected to the community. It sounds like it's not individualistic because it's the family there, but it's individualistic because it separates you from the community.
Okay.
What an
Here's the
easy
thing.
place.
Huh?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I will
Okay.
look up.
I couldn't hear
Well,
you.
here's the problem I have with the new nuclear family is that they are
I can't
leading us
hear
to.
G.
You can't hear me?
You can't hear him?
Mm-mm.
I don't know why. I can hear him.
I can hear him.
Anyway, they are
I can't hear
So
Dark Horse.
refresh and try it again.
Okay, I'll be right back.
Yeah.
they are leading us to believe that without the nuclear family, let me just put it in this perspective. It's they're making it more economically um, prudent that you have to be in a nuclear family, right? Say for example, Uber, right? A woman is going to get an Uber ride from the airport, right? Sometimes spending 40, 50, $60. Uber is so expensive. But if she had a husband, he would pick her up from the airport and she don't have to spend all that, right? Does that make sense?
You
Where I'm
have to
going?
you have to give an example where only a husband could do it.
Wait,
Do you
what do you
have
mean?
you like do you have an example where the only person that could do that would be a husband? Meaning I could call my sister or
I
my
get what you're
brother or
saying.
my neighbor to pick me up. So that's not making the husband necessary. But is there another scenario you can think of
Well,
that
I'm
you would
talking
need a
about
husband?
I'm talking about if that woman is married, more than likely she's going to ask her husband to pick her up from the airport, right? More than likely. That's
Actually,
the first.
no.
Uh,
Actually,
that's
no.
going to be the first person she asks, right?
Listen, I know
You
it
listen. Okay,
sounds
we
that
getting off
way
the
for people
rails.
who are unmarried, but listen to what we're saying. What we're saying is if everyone is in support of the husband as the head when it comes to the nuclear family, and the person that's at the head is not looked to support the rest. The children and wife are to prop him up. So he's at the top. He's not under the wife and children supporting most times. So are there women in my family who are married, my neighbors who are married, who still say, "Can you take me to the airport?" Yes, there are. My husband's at work. Husbands don't call off for work for shit. They'll ask you to figure it out. So that's what people don't understand. Like there is a line in the sand when you have a husband that he has work over everything else.
You still, yeah,
Seriously,
yeah. You
but
went
it
off the.
is that's
You,
part of that's part of
listen,
the culture. Whether the kids are sick, he's not taking off of work. You have to take off of work. There's a culture there, and if you maybe join like more married rooms, you'll find out who does most of this work, and it's usually women and even other women that they may try to reach out to help.
listen. They are promoting in America specifically. You missed the point I was trying to make, right? That nuclear family is the only way to gain generational wealth, right? And to have anything. I'm just basing this down to strictly economics. I use that Uber for a reason, right? The first person she's gonna call is her husband, so she don't got to pay that $60, right? There's a lot of um, even when it comes to homeowners. Here's the thing: there's a reason why husband and wife are gonna pay less taxes, right? There's a reason why we have all these home ownership programs that help married couples, right? There's a reason if a husband and wife, right, are more respected, they're going to get more opportunities, especially the men, right, just professionally. So if we add all that together, that is my personal issue with the nuclear family. Just looking at economics, that they're promoting that the only way you can be successful is in a married relationship. Period. You can't do it alone. And here's the thing, and when I say alone, I'm specifically talking about unmarried people, right? I know the multi generational families, I know they exist, and I know a lot of them are successful. But yeah,
Go ahead and
And
finish your point.
that was my point.
No, you get. She was clarifying something, but you were still talking about your criticisms.
Yeah, that's my main point. That's my main criticism of the nuclear family.
is
Okay.
the I'm sorry, I left. So your main criticism of the nuclear family was that it's promoted as a way to one of the only ways for a family to achieve generational wealth.
Not just generational wealth, economics overall, and that includes generational wealth.
Hmm.
And they're setting up systems to promote that, right? That includes men and women. If a man is married, even more than a woman, more opportunities. Think about it. What president do you know didn't have a wife by his side? What CEO didn't have a wife by his side? Right? What powerful businessman don't got a wife by their side?
I want to jump in. So those people, yeah, but for the average everyday man, do you know kind of what age and what socioeconomic situation men are in when they finally hit this middle class or economic freedom or place where they're making over six figures, et cetera? Do you know what that scenario is for most men and what
Yeah,
age range?
yeah. But take six
After
feet.
they're married and after they're over 40. So when they say they were talking about how much men make, the men are they got the data from tax records, and those men were married and filing jointly, or they were either retired from the military and had two incomes. They were working their second career plus retirement. So if he's not military plus retirement, the only way for him to get to that economic freedom is to get married, and now it's the
Correct.
wife's income. So
Cor-
men. men are men are using this marriage as a way to get an economic leg up where they want to get into a tax bracket or neighborhood or status where they can
Correct.
actually make money. They're not doing it on their own, and we
Correct.
are able to survive individually. But if you want extras like some men want, vacations and for 2 weeks in Europe, and they want a motorcycle and they want a boat, the wife is the leg up. That's what it is. They're not doing it on a solo income. They're not making it at 40 and 50 years old without a wife. That's why they're trying to mate. That
Okay.
income's important.
I believe that, but I'm just saying, just as a symbol, right? Just as a status symbol, being married as a man is going to reap a lot of benefits, right? Woman too, but mainly for
No,
men.
no, not woman per two. If
Huh?
that's the question, why aren't single men as successful as married men?
Wait, what do you mean? What do you mean by success?
You said that the men who are married are successful men. Successful men are more likely to be married. Why is it that single men are not as successful as the married ones?
No, 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 no. I didn't say that. I said when you look at married men, society sees them as more responsible, better leaders, more loyal, more honest. A single man could be more successful financially than a married man, but not most of the times that married man is going to get more respect.
Go ahead and finish what you were saying earlier.
I forgot my point. I was trying to think.
Yeah, but you're saying for the women also, that's not the case. Women who are married, you're not. It's not going to make you more successful. That's
It
not true.
depends. It depends the type of man you marry. Yes, it will.
But there you go, right there. Like, and that's what I was saying. Like, depends on the type of man. And men are not only conditioned to be manipulative. Now, your whole livelihood, your whole future is dependent on this person's character. That's a power imbalance.
Also, too, it's more of a risk. Getting married to a woman for a woman is always going to be more of a risk. Um, 9 times out of 10 to her career, because most likely after marriage, what comes what? A child. And once she has a child, she's gonna have it's gonna cause a gap in her employment if she has to take a maternity leave. And depending on what type of way that she wants to raise her child, she may just have to take several years off. A lot of women who the think it was the ballerina farms, if I'm not mistaken. One of like the she who used to be like a ballerina, she got married, and the whole thing was like she was gonna have a child and go back to being a ballerina. But it never happened. So a lot of times women will have to take years long breaks off of their career. So it's more of a risk to get married, more of a risk to for a woman's career and livelihood, when she is getting married. So and it doesn't matter like what type of man she has, she's going to be the one to have to carry that child for 9 months, and hopefully she doesn't get anything like preeclampsia or gestational diabetes. She's also going to be the one that needs, depending on what state she's at, 6 to 12 weeks off for maternity leave. And if it doesn't feel comfortable putting her newborn infant into daycare, she's going to have to take a year to sometimes 4 or 5 years off her career and be solely dependent on that man to be, hopefully she picked a good one, like you guys say. Hopefully she picked a good one who's not going to abandon her and that child. So it's more of a risk for a woman to have again, to have a career and be married.
Yeah, I don't agree.
Why
What
don't
part
you
you
agree?
disagree?
Wait, compared to a man? I know
Not compared to not
w-
compared to a man, just it's just a risk.
women benefit just as much as men do when it comes to marriage.
How?
How?
A lot of things. Economically, that's been proven. They live longer, despite popular belief.
No, they
They
don't.
live longer. Look at the stats.
You just make
Yes.
looked at the stats, and that's not true.
Well, no, I'll take that back. What was the stat I looked at? They're happier. They're happier.
That's not
I
true
think.
either. Single
Yeah.
women are happier.
Yes.
There's
The
hold on. There recently is a new self-reported study recently. And the we don't know if it's a again self-reported study, just like we the how black men love to uphold that, you know, they're the most involved dad study. But there is a recent study, it's a self-reported study, and I have a suspicion that they redid that survey because so many single women and child-free women have been eating those married women up.
My
So
question would be that survey, because of the way they pushing conservatism out there, who the hell financed that survey?
I bet you it has something to do with the Heritage Foundation.
Hmm.
Hmm.
well, yeah, it's self-reported. That's why I don't believe those studies. Of course, if you've been telling yourself of course, if you've been single for a long time, and I know I always say you've been chronically single. Of course, when you go into those surveys, you're going to convince yourself that you are happy being single because that's been your reality for so long, right?
Uh,
And then and not only that, the media, TikTok, the internet keeps espousing this nonsense that single women are happier, and single women eat that up. So of course you're going to be biased and
So you
lying
say
to
women
yourself.
don't know what they want.
Correct.
So if women don't know what they want,
No,
but
no, 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 no,
also
no, no. They do. They do.
women don't know what they want, but they also need to know how to pick a man, pick the best man, even though you don't know what you want. Okay.
but
Yeah, that's
like,
true.
Also, too.
G, I like. There's not like there's nothing in the world that's convincing me that I'm single. Like I'm happy being single. Like I was listening to what you were saying, and I was trying to like look at it from an unbiased point of view. Hi, hello, chronically single. Um, and like I like being single. There's nothing like
No,
I'm trying to
okay, let,
understand why I would have to convince myself that I would want to be with a man. Like I'm trying to think about like what like a man offers for me aside like finances like that I'm not content with. Like I don't know if I know how to frame that question, but if I can't, it's because I don't agree with you. Cause I'm trying to think like what about being single would make somebody unhappy? Like,
Yeah.
mm,
or
I
make you
want to
believe
know
that a
too, 'cause
woman
you
will
said that
lie
a lot.
about it?
Yeah, I
hmm?
want to know too, because
Why
you
would
hear
I
all these
lie about
rumors.
being happy, being single? Like, what about my life would make you think that I'm unhappy in
No,
Well, I mean,
secretly?
if it's easy to
No, let
prove that being people that are single, women that are single do live a happier life, even if if we're
But
self-reporting
I
it,
won't.
but the numbers don't lie when it shows that women are least likely to get remarried. We're
But I
least
won't.
likely.
I get it, but I want you to answer that. Like what make you think that like a woman like why like use me as the example. Why would you think that I'm lying about it, G? That I'm
I
lying
don't think
about
you.
being happy.
Lynn, so here's the thing. When I say chronically single, I mean those women who there's just no end in sight when it comes to being single. That's just their baseline. I don't think you're that type of woman, right? You're single.
Why? Why do you
You,
think that
I,
there's an end in sight for me?
no, I think you are single, but I don't think you're going to remain single, right? For like a lifetime. I don't believe that. But there's some women who do.
hold up.
So
Let's take it off an individual person because you're always saying chronically single, right? Why do you deem a woman who's chronically single to be unhappy unless she's in a relationship?
let's say companionship, not even relationship, just companionship. That's what
I
it's
get
about ultimately.
companionship from my friends. Let's say relationship, a romantic relationship.
Okay, because I listen. This is my own anecdotal experience. I haven't seen it. I just
So a
have not seen it.
projection.
Huh?
So a projection. Go ahead.
Well, I'm not a
But
woman, so I can't project what a woman. I'm just saying I have not seen
Well,
any
you
woman.
can project that you don't like being single.
No, I don't.
okay,
Well,
Right.
no.
well
That's what
that's
I'm
what
saying.
it
Let me
So
take
is.
that back.
you don't
But
like
then
being
let him
single.
answer the question, y'all. Tell
What's the
us what
question?
it is. You never answered it. Why do
What
you think
question?
that this woman would be unhappy?
Who, Lynn?
No, in general, the chronically single woman that you're always talking about.
I'm like I said, I'm using my anecdotal experience, right? Women I
Mhm.
know who stay single, lifetime single, are unhappy, stressed, bad with money, severe emotional problems, right? And they usually, right?
It was all
But they
anecdotal.
they usually put on this persona, this strong, independent woman persona, and then that pendulum switches when they get older, right?
We can't do nothing
And
with that because it's all anecdotal. That's what I'm
it's
saying.
anecdotal. It's anecdotal. Yeah, yeah,
I think
it's
it's a
anecdotal.
projection, though, to be honest.
What?
Because you say you don't like being single, so you're saying, oh, a
No,
woman
I'll
is
take that
single.
back. I'm okay with it, but I'm not gonna stay single, right? I'm
I
not gonna
mean,
stay
but
single.
you're not okay with it if you have the option to not be single and take the option to not be single every time in order
Well,
to
some
not be single.
listen, have you ever heard people being single, but they're not single by choice? It's not something they choose to do. They just haven't found the right person, I guess.
Like a involuntarily single?
Yes,
Like an incel?
yes. No, I wouldn't say incel, because you could be single and still have sex, right?
Right. I think that I think that just from my own personal the women that I know that are older that are single, of course there always are going to be the outliers that I've seen where they're not happily single, but my own anecdotal experience, the women that are older do seem to be at more peace. There's less
Okay.
riffraff going on in the house. There's less work being done. There's more time for themselves. Now, do they want to be single? I can't speak for that. But from what I've seen how their lives are when there is a man in the household versus when there's not a man in the household, they seem to be more emotionally regulated.
But that's why I was talking about. That's why I said like think about. I asked him about me because like the
Your sound went out.
And I'm talking about like older women, not women in
So,
my own
East,
age group. I'm
uh,
talking about women that are like
but
50
East,
and older.
those older women, have they been in long-term relationships before that you know?
One married and divorced and never been married. So it varies.
So I'm not talking
Some
about the
some
ones who've
have
been
been
married.
married and never remarried. Some
Okay,
have some are divorced freshly and some have never been married and may have like a boyfriend here, a boyfriend there.
that's what I'm
Um
talking about. That's what I'm
yeah.
referring to. Not
Yeah.
the ones who've been married already and got divorced, but yeah, the ones who got a boyfriend every now and again. That's what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm. But those all of those women are in the same age range, and from my own eyes, they seem to be more regulated. I can't say if they're happy or not happy. I can't. But and from what my own observation is of these women, when I visit them, talk to them on the phone, or when they come stop by, is that they seem a little bit more calmer.
Yeah, but my question would be, besides the tangible items you listed, like what is the benefit that a man brings to a woman life? Like I think y'all always default to financial, as if women don't provide
I
financial.
agree.
You put that to the side, right? What when it comes to like you said companionship, what is the man actually bringing to her life?
I'll let peace. Take happiness off. I will take happy. I will even take happiness off because everybody is responsible for their own happiness. But peace, commitment. Um, Here's the thing. Read this study about all these good hormones that are released, right? With the woman who's married, or was she with a partner that she trusts, right?
We gotta get that
Oxytocin.
technical for you to answer this question.
Yes, because it's true. Oxytocin, dopamine, all these good hormones that get released promotes less stress, and overall, she has a better quality of life, right? So we could take the tangible things off. House, nice car. We could take all that type of economic shit off the table, right?
Oxytocin
Because
though, that's
It
crazy.
sounds like
yes, the truth, dopamine, all that.
it sounds like a man could be replaced with a prescription for antidepressants. Nice little prescription for some Lexapro, a little mood stabilizer.
No,
If we're gonna
what?
take the financial off the table,
No, 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 no,
you
no, no.
said
But this is
peace and
but
oxytocin.
natural. This is natural. These are hormones that are naturally releasing. You don't need any medications or prescriptions,
Well, technically,
right?
it's not being naturally
That's
released
most.
because
That's why most women are with men because women are emotional. They're not with men because of their money. That's a
no,
misnomer.
I think that most women are with men because women have been told that their value is only in proximity to a man, having a man, period, and what type of man you have.
I agree with that.
So oxytocin was his answer.
I
And I
said
think that's
no, dopamine, the pheromone. Well,
no, no,
pheromones
that's
is
what I
more
said. The
released.
reason why I asked you, we have to get that technical, right? Because like it's nothing about intimacy. It's nothing about connection. You got to get to
Yeah,
like you got to talk about hormones.
yeah, yeah. I've mentioned intimacy already when I said companionship, right? Peace of
Okay,
mind, commitment that don't got nothing to do with money, right? This rigmarole that women are with men
commitment.
just yes.
Explain the
This
commitment.
commitment, the fact that he's actually willing to do all this for his woman,
Or what?
protect her, protect her, right? Depending on what you think protection is, provide for her, provide for her in a way that's not money
That's
related,
true, Jazz.
huh?
I'm talking to Jazz. She was right. But go
What was
ahead.
right?
Don't worry about it. Keep on my bed.
What did you say? Commitment. What did you? I forgot what you were saying. What were you saying? What was your question? You said something about commitment, right?
Yeah.
What was your What was your exact question, Tara?
So I want to read Jazz say oxytocin inhibits a woman's ability to think critically and protect herself. That's facts, right? No, I want you to describe what the commitment actually looks like.
Provide, provision, protection, loyalty, um, leadership. I know you guys don't like that one.
Yeah, but this what I'm saying. Like y'all have like these certain keywords y'all like to refer to, right? Like, because I've heard everything you just said. But
Yeah,
when it comes to like describing something, that's when it becomes a little y'all get stuck. Because my question is, what does it actually look like? Like you can't say commitment, and women also have to know that if they don't pick the right man, he could cheat on them, right? You can't say commitment and he could leave the children. There's nothing gonna hold him accountable with that, unless you can go to the courts or something like that. What is something that men are actually committed to collectively, where like, oh, I can depend on this man for this? Be honest.
yeah. I was about to. I got to go to the money, the economic. Hold on. Well, I know I said I won't bring up money, but look, it is
You
important.
need, that's what I'm saying. You need the money. You need to mention money. That's what I'm saying. Even when we talk about when it comes to why the woman should be there, if it's not money, it's for the kids. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's nothing about an actual the companionship that you was talking about. There's nothing there.
Yes, it is.
Then
Yes, it
describe it.
is.
Describe
Yes, it
it.
is. Yes, it is.
Describe it because it can't be money.
Describe companionship.
Yeah.
It's the intimacy. It's the trust, right? It's the loyalty you have between each other,
You doing
right? The
keywords
honesty. I
around
know it's hard. Listen, how else can I explain it though, right? Do I
example.
need Do I need
When you wanted to
specific
talk about
examples?
the women who were chronically single, you had stuff that you was just way more descriptive than you all the selling point for being in a relationship with men. And that's what I'm saying. When it comes to companionship, it's just not there. Like, let's be honest. Like a lot of men, when it comes to vulnerability, talk about how they can't be vulnerable. it's risky to be vulnerable with a woman. Matter of fact, men say they stoic and they keep things in, and at the same time, you're like, oh, he's going to be able to connect with you. That's not
Yeah,
true.
yeah. But at the same time, if a man actually showed his feelings to a woman, right? Even if she said prior to that, I need you to be more expressive. I need you to show your love. I need you to be more vulnerable. Even when a man does all that, right? It may be cute to her at first, but after a while, she gonna get tired of that emotional shit. She just is, right? So once he starts showing his emotions, she has a problem with that too. And I'm like, you just wanted me to be vulnerable, but now you have a problem with that. That I'm now that I'm showing you the vulnerability. So there's no winning.
You just validated what I just said.
No, I didn't. Prove it.
Yes, you did. You just validated what I
Prove,
said.
prove
You
it.
said that's not all it can be, and you're talking about the risk that can be tied to that. The reality is, if you want to have a true companionship with another person, you have to be able to be vulnerable with them and open up to them. If you can't do that, and you're holding back because we know about this emotional delay that men are conditioned to have, then yeah, it's going to fall short.
Yeah, no, you're not gonna come to your girl and whine about her everything that happens to you. You're not gonna do that, right? So the fact that
Yeah, yes,
a
we
lot of
do. Yes, yes, women do.
you don't want men doing that. You don't want the average man doing that.
No, no, no. It's
You
not about one. Here's the thing. Now, because this is the way y'all catastrophize it.
no,
It's
no,
not a
Terry. You don't.
whining thing.
Not even whining. You do not want a man trauma dumping you every day, whether it's work related, whether he got a bad relationship
Why does
with
it
his
have to
mother.
be trauma dumping? Why does every time you think about feelings and expressive feelings, why does it have to be this horrible thing that's happening? It don't have to be trauma dumping. It doesn't have to be something like detrimental all the time. You could just be sharing your thoughts, like, you know what, I'm really proud of this and I'm happy about it. Like, you can spread joy with your partner.
Oh
It
yeah,
doesn't.
that's nothing. Yeah, a lot of men do that.
No, men hold back.
I don't know about that. If they're proud about it, they hold back. I use trauma. I use the trauma definition specifically because I think that's when men hold back more, right? I think they're more likely to be expressive and show their happiness and joy when they've accomplished something or you've accomplished something. Men don't have a problem with that, right? They how should I put it? They stifle their emotions mainly not to just to protect themselves, but sometimes to protect the woman too.
How tell me how men are stifling their emotions to protect women.
Um, how should I put it? We know the woman will stress herself out probably more than the man, right?
About what?
And let me just throw out a brief example. This is anecdotal too. This didn't happen to me personally, but let's just say you lost your job, right? You
Mm-hmm.
lost your job. You don't want to tell your wife or woman, so you think about it. You just say, "I'm not going to say anything. Bills are mounting up. I'm just going to be on my hustle from Monday through Friday until I find something else." Right? You don't want to tell her specifically for the fact is that she's going to stress out more than you do, right? Does that make sense what I'm trying to say?
That's what I'm saying. This is why I say I don't understand. This is why I say it must be something y'all not
You
saying.
no, because the man
That doesn't
the
even
let's
sound ideal for the man.
the say that again.
That is a man that didn't even sound ideal. That's what I'm saying. Like, y'all be lying about what you actually looking for because that doesn't sound ideal at all. For neither
Yeah, I don't think it's ideal, but a lot of men think like that. They feel like I created this problem, even if they didn't. I'm gonna solve it. I don't want my woman to get involved. I don't want to share anything with her. I'm just going to handle it, right? I don't agree with it, but that's just how it is.
that's
Knowing
not
damn well. Let me finish. Let me just say that knowing damn well, if you got a good relationship with your woman, right? You tell her what's going on. Hey, babe, I lost my job. You're not feeling good. You're not feeling happy for yourself. You're feeling down. But it's her job. No, I wouldn't even say her job. It's not even her responsibility, right? But she's going to be there for you and be and love you even when you don't love yourself, right? So a lot of men don't want to show the fact that they failed. That's why, in my opinion, a lot of men don't file for divorce. They could be over the woman, right? The relationship could be over, but to them and most men, the fact that they filed for divorce, and it's just such a big failure to them. And that's the reason, at least in my opinion, most women file because men don't want to tell themselves that they failed,
I mean,
even
it's
if they,
more to it.
huh?
It's more to it than that. Okay.
That's the big reason I think.
But it's just when you the way you say that and the way I hear like men talk, it's as if you think that it's interesting because y'all expect so much for women. Even when you said the emotional thing, men love to go whine on women about what they're going. It's like y'all expect so much from women, but when it comes with your insecurity about being open about because like yeah, you want to project that I got it all figured out. That's what it is.
Yeah,
Then you can't be open with that person. You're gonna like, well, that's just how women are. They'll hold it against you. No, that's a insecurity with that exists within men, and it makes it hard for men to actually have a real connection with women. That's the way that men fall short.
I gotta think about this. Terry, you be asking something. You be tripping people up with your questions.
All I'm saying is what reality is. East, you back? You want to say something?
I haven't been back long enough to jump into the conversation, but I will.
We were talking about how men, their talking point when it comes to they can't be vulnerable with women because they're weaponized against you. And then E was
Yeah,
pointing out how like a lot of times it's because the man don't want to admit that he failed, which is the problem
yeah.
because he was like obsessed with his image.
Mm, yeah.
I wouldn't even say he obsessed with his image. You just don't want to put yourself in a position specifically where you tell this woman something and you stress her out. She's gonna be stressed as more as you. And not only that, sometimes you feel like you're gonna put her in a position where she has to help you recover, right? She may be so. I gave an analogy. Each I gave an analogy. Let's say a man loses his job, right? Instead of telling his wife what's going on, he says Monday through Friday I'm gonna be on my grind and find something else, right? The bills are piling up, but I'm not gonna communicate this to my wife because I'm not gonna stress her. I don't want to stress her out. If
Which
I
isn't
tell,
protection.
yeah,
Just that's not protection.
if I tell her, she may freak out. She may be trying to find another job, even though she got her own. So that man is telling himself, I'm a failure, but I'm going to get up out of this, right? But here's the thing, though, and I also told Tara, that's
Well,
not usually,
before you go to that point, it sounds like two things. It sounds like well, a couple. It sounds like that fragile male ego. It sounds like men also have like this imposter syndrome, and they are obsessed with their image. Men are socialized into like these narcissistic traits, and where they constantly have to protect their image. They don't want to be seen as like lesser than, but then also too, he doesn't want to admit that she would be the one in that moment taking care of the family. He
Yeah,
doesn't
that's what
want
I'm
I
saying.
believe that. I
Hold on,
believe
real
that.
quick.
I
But
do
that's what
believe
I'm
that.
saying. That's the contradiction. And we hear about this. And like apparently it's a thing men would do. Even to the point where they'll pretend like they're going to work, right? But at the same time, you can't say you the protector if you'll let the bills pile up and y'all risking having somewhere to live and your safety because your ego comes first, then yeah, that's a contradiction. You can't be both. You got to pick one. The reality is you care about your ego. You don't want to look weak in front of this woman. This whole
Yeah.
persona that you build, you need her to buy into, right? But then you say you the protector. That don't sound very safe to me.
right.
But who knows? Some women create those conditions too themselves, depending on the expectations they put on that man, right?
Explain it.
If specifically if you met her how should I
If
put
you led with your
if
wallet first,
yes, if you lead with nothing but your money and your career and your accomplishments, right, and that's the only reason you got her, and some financial crisis happens to you, you lose your job, you make a bad investment, right, it's the woman went into that relationship putting all these unfair expectations on this man to provide, and she found out he couldn't. right?
Why would a
Why
man
did you
put
just
himself in that position?
Yeah, why did you just say all of the things that he did to start it off and then end it with she's putting it on him? How did you
He's the one
start
that led with
in the
his
same
wallet
sentence
first.
say that he
Yeah, he's
this
not
is what he
innocent either.
started with? But no, you started with this is what he led with and this is what he did. And then
Right.
you wrap the sentence up with saying and it's her fault for putting these expectations on him.
A
How
lot
do
of
we get
times,
there?
a
Yeah,
lot of
to a
times,
degree.
men
To
will purposefully chase after a certain type of woman, and you know what certain type of woman I'm talking about, and you are not in her bracket. You want that certain type of woman, and when she lays down these expectations, I want this, I want that, I require this, I require that, these are my boundaries. When you can no longer keep up with those requirements that she laid down, then she becomes the problem for being completely transparent and having the boundaries and the requirements in the first place. Now she's the
correct.
problem.
Yes, but I'm just saying, if that's what you're leading with, right?
You
If that's
knew
what the
that you wanted a woman with the 27-inch bust down that wanted her that had to get the French gel aluminum foil manicure and pedicure that required a weekly facial. You knew you wanted that type of woman that wanted the nice bags, that needed a nice car, that expected you to do all the types of maintenances, and then you get mad at her. You pursued that woman and then get mad at her when you cannot keep up with that woman. That's like me buying a 2026 BMW, a Range Rover, and I get mad because I can't afford to change the tires and the oil change and the premium gas. Whose fault is that?
Yeah, because the thing is, when she's saying all the things she wants and set her boundaries, and you like, oh, okay, I can do it. You're not that type of man. That's the problem. You're not that. Here's the thing: there are men who talking about they can be sole providers and they live in paycheck to paycheck. If you don't have an emergency fund, if you ain't got investments, you ain't got no like you don't have a good enough savings that if you lost your job, you would have like 6 months at least to cover the bills. If you don't have a network where you can reach out to these people if something happened to you, you ain't that guy. That's the reality. It's not her fault. She told you this who I am. It's you who lied.
A lot of times, men won't even be truly like attracted to that type of. This is why I say a lot of men date for other men. Men won't even be truly attracted to that type of woman. They just know that every other man is attracted to that type of woman. And they're using that woman as clout for validation for other men.
I don't know if I believe that part.
I'll give you an example. When you take your girlfriend to the cookout, and your uncle or your homeboy comes up to you and they look at you and say, nephew, that's you.
Yeah,
When they come up to you and say, oh, then that's your lady, that validation feels good to men. And men have admitted it themselves that they
yeah.
will go after a certain type of woman. I think what did Jay-Z said? When you bring your girl that compliment the deal, basically saying that every time he brings Beyonce to certain business meetings, she allows him to have a leg up in negotiation.
That's why I said earlier, men who are married to a certain type of woman, or just married in general, are going to reap some type of benefit from that. Period. Compared to a single man. Okay. But I said certain women and society in general put certain expectations on man that they know the man is incapable of providing or adhering to. In fact, a lot of women will know that about the man and hope that something changes because they're with him.
I think that
Right?
I don't know. I disagree. I think that a lot of men will pretend to be with pretend to be that type of man that that woman wants in order to get her. And when he can't keep up with it, she's the problem. She's a gold digger. She's materialistic.
Uh, Here's the thing. I don't think most men are lying like you, like a lot of you, the women say. I don't think a lot of these men are lying. A lot of them are honest. They will tell you how many kids they had, how many women they've been with. It's just that the glaring red signs, you just choose to ignore it, right? The signs be there 9 times out of 10. Y'all just ignore it. Is that true? Am I right or am I right?
I mean, I don't agree with that, but let's say that
No.
was the case. Does it really matter if men lack self awareness? Because you just explained the situation, what scenario where, and I've heard a lot of men say this, like, oh, they're going to be the protective provider and take care of family with children on their sole income, and they just ain't got it like that. We live in a society where the middle class is shrinking and men are delusional. So what does it matter if he's telling the truth if he fucking delusional? But again, I don't agree with that. Darkos, you want to say something?
Yeah, I'm gonna say no, it's not. It's not true. The reason I say it's not true is there aren't any men in real life who are walking up to women, introducing themselves and saying, I can't afford to take you out. I can't afford for hair, nails, but I still want you to sleep with me and go out and go half on this meal. It's not happening. Stop lying. No one's doing that. She's not saying, oh, I couldn't wait, G, to pay half and pay everything myself and go out and entertain you. You know, no one's doing that. She's going to say no. So, yes, men peacock and lie and spend their way into a woman's favor later on after multiple dates, and now they underwater because now they skipping bills to try to keep up with these dates, and they're fucking up their money to keep up with these dates. Now can we wait till next week? And then it gets farther and farther and farther in between with the dates because he's realizing that he can't keep up with what he said financially. But
No,
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 they
no.
do start off with that. They don't start off saying I can't afford you and I won't be paying for anything. They'll overextend themselves for certain women. Yes, they
Okay.
will.
Yeah, I agree with that, right? And I always say, if you willing to spend $300 on the first date, that should be the expectation on the 30th date, right? I do say that, right? If you spend this type of money, that's the expectation you set for all future dates, right?
Well,
But
why would you have to say that? Whoa, why would you have to say that in the first place?
why would I have to say that?
Yeah, why would you even make that statement?
Because if I heard a man saying he spent $300, $500 on a chick, right? I'ma think specifically he just looking for sex. I'ma
Yeah,
think
but
that
it's
first of all. But I'm going to say,
because
if you do that,
it's hold
if you
on.
do
You
that,
said I always say. So men are saying it enough that you have to always say it, which again goes against what you said about men are being honest. Clearly, you know they're being dishonest because you gotta always say that.
wait, say that again.
You said that men are.
Uh-huh.
You would think most men are honest, right? Most men are being honest about what they have and what their expectations are. But at the same time, you have a saying of if you spend 300 on the first date, you got to spend it on the 30th date. So you know there are men out there who lie and try to like pretend they have stuff that they don't, and you tell
Yep.
us at the same time you believe those men are honest. You're
I
contradicting
said
yourself.
no. I said a lot of these men out here are honest. Y'all just overlook the red flags. I had a good point I was about to make too. I lost my train of thought.
Damn.
But anyway, if that's the case, right? You don't spend $300 on the first date, and she notices each subsequent date the money is not there, right? You go from the 5-star restaurant to Applebee's by the 10th date. By then, she already caught feelings. She go crash out if she don't have you, right? So I do believe men manipulate women in that way, but it's up to her to see those glaring red signs, and she can leave, right? The problem is they are not doing that because most women like men, and they want their attention, and they will do anything to get it, right? So if he can't keep up, why are you still with him? Because most women are led by their emotions. They like attention. So women like attention, like men like sex, right?
Yeah.
So women like attention as much as men like sex. So if this man has lied to you, has manipulated you, has love bombed you specifically, and you still chose to be with him, what does that say?
Hold on, I just want to say this. As much as men censor themselves, ain't nobody love attention like a man love attention, just so you know.
No, no, no,
She,
no,
she,
no, No,
It's
That's what I'm
no.
saying. The lack of self awareness is crazy.
yeah. Oh, it's cute. I like the red contrast. That was the
Who's
do the do
talking?
too. You did good. Oops.
Who's
Um,
talking?
Darko, you know you muted. I mean, you unmuted.
But yeah, men don't want attention like a woman does. A woman does. No way.
That's not true.
No, prove it.
Then okay, if that's the case, why do y'all censor yourself so much?
What do you mean?
We have discussions all the time, Jay, and you know that men will interrupt a discussion, stop the conversation to talk about his own personal life, to tell his story. Um, like you know that they do that.
Yeah, women do that too, though. Are you talking about
Why
specific to
you why
TikTok?
you sitting here saying that it's just a woman thing? If you shit, you do it, G. Why
No,
is come on, be for real.
no. I'm saying women want attention more than men want attention.
I disagree with that. And you're not being honest right now.
What? No, I really do believe women like attention
Why do you think women want attention more than men?
in the relationship specifically. Because this is just my opinion, right? If a man can, let me just say this, right? Let's say a man meets a woman and there's a physical connection. He don't have to take her out on no dates. He don't gotta text her. He don't gotta FaceTime her. But as long as that expectation of Smex is there, he will be okay with that, right? You come over to my house. We do the deed. You go home. We just leave it at that.
But
Women
that's
are not.
hold up.
No, that's part of it,
Hold
the
on.
attention.
All right,
That's
so I
part of
get
the attention.
no, hold
Women
up.
aren't gonna allow that.
No,
Women are.
I definitely think that women should have like better boundaries and expectations, and I think standards are way too low for men, right? But with that said, is he's approaching her under the guise that they're in some type of relationship at the same time. Let's be for real. Just hold
Nah.
up. Is I thought the saying was that men pursue women. Is that incorrect?
Yes, but the example I gave, he he is giving her attention. I use that in quotes to get Smex, right? She will give
Yeah,
him
he'll
Smex,
give her a lot of attention, and then after he gets sex, the attention is gone.
right? And so
But
she will try to.
initially, he's the one giving attention, and that's the thing. No, you can't do that. You can't. What is it, breadcrumbing or whatever? So when you what is it called in the beginning? Love bombing. You can't love bomb a person. Give them all this attention. You mirroring them. You always reaching out to them, and then after you get what you want, pull back and go, "Oh, this person wants more attention." That's crazy.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Man will give women attention for Smex, and she will give that man Smex for attention, right? So she's not gonna be cool with no dynamic where they just having sex, right? She's not gonna be cool with that. If she does have sex, she wants some type of lead up to it, i.e., attention. Like, hang out with me. Let's go grocery shopping together. Let's cook together, right? That's what I mean by that. Men are completely okay if they have access to the physical, not doing none of that shit, not even talking to you on the phone. But women aren't designed like that. So that's why I think women need more attention. Shit, man. Even with y'all female the women relationship, the girlfriend relationships. Even with y'all girlfriend relationships, if one of your girlfriends don't miss your birthday, don't text you on your birthday, or some big event, you're gonna have a problem, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not gonna,
She's
man.
gonna understand. She gonna understand. Like, damn, I messed up. That's it. Like, yeah. No,
Yeah,
no,
but
that's the thing. Hold
And
up.
she won't try to gaslight you out of the apology.
Yeah. And think about this. If my girlfriends are more likely to reach out to me on my birthday, right? Check on me at the end of the day, see how I'm feeling, right? We more likely to talk to each other more about what's going on. My need for attention has gone down dramatically because I have somebody else another outlet. You contrast that with men who only connect on some weird shit y'all got with women, and y'all don't really open up to each other. Y'all are starving for attention.
listen, if one of my friends forgot my birthday, even my close buddies, I wouldn't even worry about it. I wouldn't trip off of it.
Because you don't
But you
expect
guys
that
will.
from him. You don't expect that from them.
The fact that you wouldn't trip off of it shows like how shallow the friendships that you
Okay,
have
no,
now are. Like
mm,
if I've been friends with this person for years, I have friends that I haven't spoken to in years, and I still like at least text them happy birthday, happy Mother's Day. Like that's the fact that you wouldn't even get upset. That just shows that you have like shallow relationships. You know.
I was watching a TikTok video and this guy said that male friendships, a man who does not have friends is different than a woman not having friends. I gotta send you guys that video. I forgot how he broke it down, but it made complete sense, right? Basically saying that a man having absolutely no friends is sometimes a green flag, but a woman with no women
Oh, it's
friends,
not a green flag. Oh,
I
because men
forgot
are
how he explained
problematic.
it.
No, men are problematic. Yeah.
Huh?
No, I got it. I got you.
No. A man having no friends?
Yeah, I'm agreeing.
I
I'm
think
okay.
the same reason why it would be a red flag that a woman doesn't have any friends, the same exact reason would be a red flag for a man not having friends.
Why?
Okay, why would it be a red flag if a woman did not have any friends
Because
to you?
this is my first time really thinking about it. Um, she probably has dealing with some trauma. Probably has a toxic attitude or something toxic about her. Um, she's a big pick me, right? She gives all her attention to men. Um, she's arrogant, right? Every time I hear, here's the thing though, I
Real quick, now before you go there, I know some dudes that don't have friends from back in the day in high school, but they were some of the worst people that I've ever met. I remember one dude in particular, he did the weirdest thing that I've ever seen. We were all hanging out, and then he told his homeboy, he was like, "Oh yeah," and this is the him being a pick me. He was like, "Oh yeah, when you gonna give me my sneakers back?" He apparently let the homeboy borrow the sneakers, and he was like, "When you gonna let my give my sneakers back, Jit?" That's pick me behavior. That's something that a woman would do. Like, "Oh yeah, girl, I see you. You know, you like those shoes that I let you borrow." Also, too, being arrogant. Um,
I gotta
being
fight back on
arrogant,
that.
like
Don't put
it's
that on
also
women.
something that's done with women as well. You know what I'm saying?
Don't put
Where
that on
they want
women.
to, huh?
That ain't no woman's damn trait. Don't say that shit. There's
so
men
you
It's
who
a
drive.
trait.
There's
It's
men
it's
who
a
drive. Who drive. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
it's a trait that both men and women can have. I think it would be fair to say that. But like I was saying, I was explaining to G, all of the traits that he could list why it would be toxic for a woman not to have friends. Those same exact traits can be put on a man. And I was giving him the example of you know, the dude trying to, you know, shit on his friend in front of girls, being a pick me, him being arrogant and you know trying to constantly say that the dude was broke or he was you know or
but
being
he
toxic with
the
video
the
games.
the biggest piece of shit man I know, and I know this anecdotal, they have a bunch of friends, right? At least the ones I know. There's a bunch of ain't
They
shit
have a
man
bunch of friends because men
yeah,
have shallow
Yeah,
friendships.
they
You want
associates. They're
men
not
are
real friendships. Yeah.
men are socialized for quantity and not quality. I have a small group of friends, but I know I know their kids' names, I know their mama's names, I know where they grew up at. I know their hopes, their dreams, their ambitions, their fears. I know, you know what I mean? Like I have a quantity of friends. We have a deep personal connection. And that's
ain't shit.
okay not to have the most friends. I
Mm,
always tell my son, I say, a friend to everyone is a friend to no one.
yeah, you're talking about those friends who play the fence, but I'm saying ain't shit men have a lot of friends, ain't shit women have none.
Yeah, I think
There's
the
a reason
problem
for
is
that.
y'all both talking about friends, but I think that the definition of a friend may also be different. That's the problem.
Yeah, I think I'm
Yes.
talking about someone that definition of a friend, like someone that you have a deep connection with, that you either can speak with every single day or not speak with every single day and still be able to connect with it. I think it's all about like a bonding connection and an intimacy. That's a friendship. You know what I mean? And then you is like, oh, y'all both like hockey,
Uh,
and now
women
that's my friend.
women friendships with each other is just different than men friendships. That's all there is to it.
Yeah,
That's
when it
all
comes to
there.
that talking point that they're different, what do you want to say? They're like, what's different about women friendships before I even say anything? What's different?
Wait, women
You're
friendships?
saying it's different? Yeah, what's different with women's friendships?
It's just different. I gave the first example um, with the birthday thing. Men don't have to. Men are not going to get uncomfortable or feel some type of way because their friend did message them on their birthday. Right? We get over stuff faster. We let the stuff roll off our back like water on a duck most of the time. Not always, but
So
most of the time.
how do
Um,
you man tell the difference between a friend and an associate?
between a friend and an associate,
Mm-hmm.
an associate is somebody that don't talk to very often. Maybe text every once in a while. You don't know a lot about them. It's really surface level, right? I could hang out with you. We can go to a club or hang out every now and again and do something fun, right? Men can do that, but I wouldn't consider that. I wouldn't consider that a friend. That's just a superficial type of relationship.
So the friendship,
So
what do
a
your friends know
friendship,
about you?
a friendship will be like something happened catastrophic at 3 in the morning, and I can call you, right? That's more of a friendship to me, right?
That's it?
Um, um, you get married, and I'm going to be in your wedding, right? Um, yeah, that's all I can. It's a lot to it. It's a lot to it. Now I think about
Not that's all you can say. That's crazy. That's wild.
it. No, it's so much more.
Something
Hmm.
deeper.
I can call
I don't.
AAA at 3 in the morning, so you know. Just
I,
saying.
was-
So is it something deeper that makes it
I'm,
your friend?
I said.
Because
I said catastrophic.
what makes you get up at 3 o'clock in the morning for a friend and an associate? Like that's the difference. Like I'm not getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning for an associate, but I would do it for my friend. But
That's what
that's
I'm talking about.
because
You wouldn't even call an associate. You're gonna call your friend, right? Or they're
right.
gonna
So
call you.
I want to know what's the difference. I know the difference between an associate and my friend though.
So
What's
what's
the
the
difference
difference?
between your associate and your friend that you would get up out of bed at 3 in the morning for?
Okay, associate. I'm probably not gonna be at their wedding, right? I'm probably not gonna be at their kids' birthdays, right? I'm probably not gonna. I'm trying to think of something deeper. I
The
probably
fact
don't
that
know
it's
their.
hard says a
I,
lot.
I
The
don't.
fact
I
that
don't.
the
I,
fact that it's hard for you to have to think like that is saying all that we need to hear, to be honest. I'm just
look,
saying.
look, my close buddies. I know everything about them.
Okay.
So,
I bet.
so I don't know what you're trying to. But the thing is, a lot of women are so dependent on their friendships, right? And it's tough because not only are they male, I won't say male identity. Not only are these women, a lot of them are pick and they want a man. They still sometimes want that same type of attention and validation from their women friends, even with a man. I don't get it.
I don't think
Yeah.
women
I do
need
not
a
get it.
validation from their friends, but
Yeah, they do.
the
Now, I
times
will say this. This thing will say, men want validation from their friends too. They want
no,
validation
men
from their
definitely want
acquaintances.
validation from their friends. Men want
Correct.
validation from other men, but I don't think that
Yes.
women want validation from their friends. I think it's just more of an intimacy.
Yeah, they both want validation, but I think it's interesting when you talk about like the fallout because just like it's a
I'm trying to think though.
hold up, just like the fallout, right? It's the way that y'all fall out after a relationship. It's because there's some substance there. when you say, "Oh, me and my friend fall out wouldn't be that big of a deal," I would say that don't sound like a real friend. Like if me and my friend fall out, I'm gonna be hurt. I'm gonna be hurt. I'm be in the house crying, eating ice cream, like reminiscing. Like I'm gonna be mourning the relationship. When y'all say that y'all don't go through the stages of grief over the relationships or the friendships that y'all have with your
No,
friends, you think that
no.
it's like shit, like switching a job, no big deal. Like the way y'all talk about stuff as if it's not like that's like a flex. Like, no, that means there was no real connection in the first place. Why are you not hurt over you and your friend? And the reason why y'all don't fall out is what the fuck do y'all really talk about besides women in sports? Let's be honest.
It's kind of
A
spooky.
lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. We don't got to talk about women in sports. So much shit
Like
we can talk
what?
about. Hell of stuff. See, I
Mm-hmm.
don't like small talk. I do not like small talk. I'm not going to be talking about sports and weather and women all day. Nah. Because I just hate small talk. Right?
What do you talk about?
Huh?
What do you talk about?
Just random stuff. We don't plan on thinking that, and that's what separates a friend and acquaintance to me as well. Is that we don't have to think about what to say. It's just something natural, right? That's a better definition. A friend to me is somebody I can just have a conversation with. There's no awkwardness. There's no judgment. There's none of that. It's just a natural chemistry you have with your friend, right? So a lot of these times I don't even have to think about what to say. They don't have to think about what to say. We ain't talking about sports all day. We're not talking about women all day. We're not talking about shit that don't matter. So that's what a friend is to me, at least.
But how often do y'all talk? Like, what's on for men? How often does it make sense to talk to your friends?
Maybe once a week.
That's
Can
crazy.
I jump in and say that when he had trouble describing the relationship with a woman and none of his examples gave connection, when he talked about men, he was able to understand what their connection is. Just want to point that out.
But that's with women too, though. I think the same thing about women. So, but
Yeah, I just when it comes to my like female connections, both on TikTok and off TikTok, um, I don't know. I For me it's I don't think it's that hard. I don't have to have it pulled out of me. You know what I mean? Um, but again, that just shows I don't think that men have like genuine friendships. I don't think that men have like true friendships because when you were talking about like, if I'm being invited to the wedding, if I'm uh, you know, invited to birthdays and things like that, I think that when you look at like an actual like a genuine friend, it's about like sharing special moments and not special moments. It's about having like vulnerability, like being vulnerable, telling like letting them know certain insecurities that you usually wouldn't have, you would let your guard down for, and be able to, let them know about certain insecurities that you have, being to uplift them, but then also being able sometimes to be like, hey, why don't you, you have to like bring it, grounding your friend as well. Do you think that you have that type of experience with your friends?
those are based on women friendships. What you just described.
To be fair, a friendship is a friendship. The fact that like you keep saying that is crazy. A friendship is a friendship. It's just not that close.
Yeah, I don't think it's a gender thing. I just think that a friendship is just, it's non-gendered, but the way men operate, it is very based off of your gender because you have to, especially black men, you have to have a certain type of masculinity, being vulnerable, and then also allowing your friend to like ground you, uplift you, like those things you have to be like transparent and you have to actually like stop performing. That's the thing, is that you're constantly, it's kind of exhausting for you guys because you're constantly having to perform. And that makes me kind of sad for you, not you specifically, G, but you as in men. It's like constantly having to like just never be your true self and just put this mask on every single day and let me tell the dad joke, let me tell him about this girl and tell him about that girl and talk about this team and let me do the NPC 1 2 3. It's like it seems exhausting.
So okay, so do you, when it comes to friendships, are men more competitive in their friendships, or women, or are women
Competitive
just competitive in general?
with each other about
Yes, with
life.
each other.
I think both men, I don't think that's a gender thing either. I think that men and women can be competitive with each other, but I think men men can be more a little bit more competitive, like who's making more money type competitive. You know what I
I
mean?
agree with that.
Women can
Hmm.
be what women can be competitive. It's like who's going to get married first. It's never like who's prettier or who's, you know what I mean?
Oh,
It's
yes, it
just
is. Yes, it is.
But
Yes,
see,
I
it
mean,
here's
is.
the
also
thing.
we help
Hold
each
up.
other
Now,
pick the outfit out.
But the money thing, yes, men do compete with their friends.
what you say, Dark
They don't
Horse?
talk about it.
No, I want to say it's not women. Women are helping each other pick the outfit out. We helping each other pick out the makeup. We saying we doing each other's hair. We getting each other dolled up. Shut up. But men
Yeah,
Yeah,
are
because
definitely
you're
in
talking
but
about like
competition.
you're talking about mean girl friendships who specifically, like, I call them Instagram friendships, where they specifically only hang out with girls that meet a certain type of aesthetic.
no, but listen, it connects to what he was talking about earlier, right? Men are afraid to be vulnerable. So when we talk about how men friendships lack connection, the go-to is, well, she can say this, or she may be like this. Like y'all, that's what I'm saying. Y'all are so afraid of vulnerability that anything about connection, you quickly go to like all the negative things that can happen. Yeah, can a friendship be toxic? Yeah. Should you probably end that friendship? Yeah. Does that mean that you shouldn't have friendships? Not at all. But like, you don't apply that same thinking to romantic relationships. I think that's interesting. Y'all don't apply that thinking in romantic relationship. Then it's a need to pick better. But when it comes to friendships and we start talking about closeness, y'all niggas get scared. It don't make sense.
Yeah. And say that you didn't see the red flags? Are you afraid you won't see the red flags in your friends, G? Or do y'all already see the red flags and y'all still be fucking around anyway? Maybe that's why they don't want the relationship to get deep. You don't want to know those plans. You don't want to know what the man is doing because then you may have to make plans and exit the friendship if you know all the dirty, dark secrets. So I believe y'all do hold a lot of shit to your hand, a lot of things close to your chest
no, I
because
believe that.
women are having a different experience, but no man has ever done it. So there's no way that every single woman has experienced some form of sexual harassment, sexual assault. Somebody's been yelling at them, been verbally abusive, but no man that I've ever heard on TikTok, and no man in your life, and no man in all of America has done it. But yet every single woman has had that experience. That's what I talk about when I talk about not being genuine and can't have a conversation with you men because we can't have something be 100% of our experience in romantic relationships and then there's 0% of motherfuckers on the other end doing it. So I believe y'all hide the things that you do and the things that you say. And that's how the facade is kept up. That's how the lie amongst men about picking a better one continues to exist because every man claims he's not that one and he wouldn't do it. Everyone does. But that requires you guys to keep that shit secret. It does. What if the dude that you talking to at the basketball court don't like that and he not down with that? Y'all do keep it, I think, to yourselves about how you talk to women, how you treat women or what have you. So I think it does have to remain like a real superficial relationship because you don't want people to know like how you operate. I think so, as men
Yeah.
I
as a
think
group.
Dark
And
Horse,
I think
they do allow their homeboys to show it, but you know what they call it? Dark humor. That's the new, oh, I
I don't
didn't
think
know that he was a grapist. I didn't know that he was a
Mm.
predator. He just had some really
no.
dark humor.
I
Yeah, but
don't think
they don't give their
I don't
exact
think men protect
stories.
other
They're
men
not gonna ever
as much as you guys
confess.
think. I don't think men protect other men as much as you guys think.
But y'all all everyone has to lie. So either all of the women are lying or all of the men are lying.
no, men
I
protect
will.
each other, they just don't like each other. Y'all not up protecting, you're not actually protecting the other man. You protecting your privilege. Y'all don't like men. You like male privilege stuff.
Hmm. I agree.
Yeah, but
Mhm.
men aren't protecting men as much as you guys think.
No,
I
that's
don't
what I'm
think that.
saying. Nobody thinks. Listen, we know y'all. Y'all can't build community. Y'all, you like look at the conversation around friendship. It's real shallow. Like we understand that something is wrong with men. Then women been saying it for a while. Y'all have this like when it comes to emotions and vulnerability and stuff. Like y'all fucked up. And instead of you just acknowledging it, like y'all want to gaslight and pretend like, oh, it's gonna work out. No, women see that, and it's too much work dealing with a flawed person that way. But no, we know that men don't protect men. You're not actually protecting that man. Like we see how y'all get down. There's no, we don't see a bunch of men building community places and like sticking together. But y'all, the only time you see that is when y'all have a point and y'all agree with each other. That's what it comes down to at the end of the day.
So performative.
Yeah, because if I tell you to loan that man some money, move that man in your house and take care of him while he get up on his feet, you can be like, absolutely the fuck not. Y'all ain't about to help each other out. Y'all don't fuck with each other. It's
Facts.
fake as fuck.
Facts.
It's fake. All I do
Facts.
is I can say help him change a tire. Absolutely the fuck not. He better figure it. It doesn't matter. Y'all are not going to help each other. Y'all not going to actually put any action behind it. The words, I don't know if you guys understand, but words, of course, are the lowest form of communication, right? Because they can be manipulated and they can lie. Actions don't. So you can say whatever about how you feel about dudes and how you supportive and how you about. You're not gonna do this shit though. So words I usually ignore. I do watch y'all actions, and there is no man taking care of other men in their old age. There's no man taking care of their sons by themselves until their sons are 50 years old. Like men ain't doing that shit. Not the fuck at
Yeah.
all. No.
So yeah,
But that
like
leads me back to the nuclear
real quick,
family.
when you said men don't like actually like each other or don't support each other, I'm glad you said that because like that's also an argument for your fathers. Like your fathers don't support y'all or love y'all or care about y'all. So like that was facts. I agree with you, G. But go ahead.
The nuclear. What was I about to say? Leads me back to the nuclear family. Remember that brother on TikTok said that men having no friends is not a red flag, right? The video went viral. So let me say this: when it comes to the nuclear family, the fact that he does not have any friends and is seen as a green flag, right? Is he all his emotional unavailability, right? Does that project onto the woman? Because I don't think it does.
A person who doesn't have friends, one, is showing that they may lack social skills. That's a bigger problem, right? But two, that means they're going to be overly dependent on the relationship, which contradicts what you said earlier about needing attention, right? Because you have to have another outlet than just your partner. Now that person got to talk to you about everything on their work, everything on their mind. They have no one else to talk to. They have no other hobby. That could be a dangerous person because now it's like he wants you for yourself. Your friends are a threat. Your family is a threat. Like, no. Like, why the fuck you ain't got no friends, but you want to be in a relationship? What the fuck? That don't make sense. You don't have any close relationships with people, but you want to be in a romantic relationship with a woman.
Yes. What is
Okay.
wrong with that? I don't get it.
The crazy part, you don't see the contradiction in that.
Yeah, but you are assuming, right, that just because he does not have any friends, um, he's gonna need all this attention from his wife or his woman, which is not
Yeah.
all the case. And sometimes it's a good attention, right? It's not always negative. He's not always dumping on her, and um,
No. I'm gonna ask you a question, G. Someone who don't have any friendships, right? Why do they want to be in a romantic relationship, but they don't want friendships?
they probably want friendships, but they probably didn't cultivate them, right? They probably
Yeah.
didn't, that's probably a big reason,
So if this
right?
person did not
But but
close,
but
okay,
but a romantic, I don't want to even want to say partner, right? But looking for companionship from a woman is completely different than a friendship that you have with the same sex. It's not
that's
comparable. It's
this.
just not.
Hold up, this is the problem. You're saying they didn't cultivate those relationships. Men don't even want to cultivate the relationship with a woman. That's why we have love bombing. That's why we have the honeymoon stage. You're trying to say that this person who put the effort into action every genuine connections with other people, like-minded people, is so dedicated to this romantic relationship. Y'all say women can't vet, but like the person who signed up for that and say that's a green flag, you don't know how to vet. That's a red fucking flag.
Um, but no, I know some men out here. This one white engineer I know. This is
You know
anecdotal.
everybody. You know everybody.
White engineer that I know personally, more of acquaintance. He don't have any friends, but he still want a woman, right?
Yeah, that's the problem. That's what I'm saying. He's not working on himself. He ain't building no social skills. He haven't cultivated connections. But he thinks that, oh, I should have a woman. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, what type, that's what, you don't understand what's missing there.
The
He,
fact that
he
he don't.
didn't want to put the effort in maintaining a friendship. But somehow the same person who just don't have time for other people is about to do that for a romantic relationship. No, that's the selfish person.
Yeah, no, I don't know about that.
He wants connection, but he don't want to put the effort in that goes with a friendship because it's something he gets out of being with a woman that he wouldn't get from that man. And that's the part y'all won't be honest about. That's the labor that women are expected to like give to men, the emotional labor, because you can't connect to your male friend. Now I gotta hear this. You gotta victimize yourself. So I gotta hear the whole story. We hear these stories all the time. You don't have any friendships. You haven't worked on your social skills and how to have empathy and care about another person. But I'm supposed to be like, oh, we can be in a relationship. This sounds fine. No, being in relationships, those are skills you build. Being like you can learn skills from your friends through those connections that can contribute to the romantic relationship you're in. The fact that y'all separated like that just is just telling on yourselves.
No, I'm saying it's going to be a different conversation. It's going to be a different connection. It's going to be a different approach um, when it comes to your wife, woman, girlfriend than it is your friends or lack
What's the
thereof.
difference?
It just is, right?
What's the
A lot
difference?
of the things, the conversation could be completely different. Obviously, the intimacy. I'm not even talking about sex, right? You don't approach and talk about the same things with your friend that you would your woman, right? You you just don't. Certain things you don't tell your friends, you will tell your woman, right? Not vice versa.
That's the problem. Listen to what I'm saying. Y'all don't feel comfortable opening up, and you don't actually open up to women. Y'all just unload on women because human beings need connection. We have a buffer. I don't have to come to you about everything because I can go talk to my homegirls about certain stuff. Different people I can connect with. So I don't have to put everything on you. You have nobody. You have nobody you can talk to but the woman. That is too much for anybody. That's what I'm saying. Like, men have emotional delay. That's it. Y'all lack y'all have emotional illiteracy. And like y'all so deep down a rabbit hole with it, y'all don't see it. If not, you can connect to her different. No, you're needy. You're needy. She gotta hear all this shit because you can't go tell Tyrone what's bothering you. Go get some friends and talk to them. Like that's the point. And then y'all don't process emotion. So now you need to unload childhood shit on her. That's the problem. Y'all lack the ability to connect. It's not that there's a problem with women. It's not that men are just different. It's that y'all haven't learned a skill. You think somebody who cannot be a learn how to build relationships with other like-minded people who struggles with that is ready to be in a romantic relationship and it won't be imbalanced. That's why a lot of women feel like mothers to men in romantic relationships. It's really not that complicated, but it becomes complicated for y'all because you can't understand something simple because y'all live on the bottom of the pyramid. You in survival mode. And it's like, it don't matter how many times we tell y'all that. It's like, well, men are like this and women like that. No, y'all fucked up. That shit y'all learn from a very young age about not being able to like cry, not expressing emotion. You don't learn the vocabulary to connect to how you feel. You don't know how to express yourself. You repress. You perform for status amongst other boys, and it become a thing of performance and manhood. And then y'all just show up like, oh, it's the woman that's the problem, and I'm good over here. No, y'all fucked up. And I have still to this day, you cannot find men who can be open and honest about that. Like y'all are still lying to yourselves. You just said it. Men don't really support each other. Y'all friendships be bullshit. You don't really like that dude, but y'all can talk about something unrelated. That's not a true connection. That's not about anything. It's very surface level, and it feel like something. And he'll call you once a week. That's no real friendship. Once a week is crazy. It's like checking in with
What? No, it's some friends once a year, and it's like you.
once a year.
Yeah, it's like you left off where you. It's like
That's an associate. That's not your friend. That's just an associate. Once a year.
no, life happens. Life happens, right? And it's like you didn't skip a beat, right? You left off exactly where you left off at, right? It's like you missed nothing. Y'all are incapable of having those type of connections with your friends.
With
Man,
shallow? Yeah, we can have that with coworkers. We can have that with the neighbors. What are you talking about?
no, I'm saying a lot of men, their friendship, they don't have to talk every day or every week or every month, but when they do see each other, it's like I said, like you're not skipping a beat, right?
Yeah. The same, like I said, the same connection you can have with a neighbor or coworker. There's nothing significant about it.
No, no, it's completely different. A lot of men can go 6 months without talking to each other. They see each other. It's like nothing. It don't even feel like 6 months,
You know what
right?
I wish y'all do? I wish y'all go 6 months without harassing and talking to women and leave them the fuck alone. Have a girlfriend. I'd have a boyfriend if I could talk to him once a fucking year. But y'all know what? The reason y'all don't need those relationships with men and friendships is because y'all waiting for some woman to come along and you gonna fuck her whole day up from the moment she open her eyes until she go to sleep. You're gonna be on her ass. Texting her, where was you at? What took you so long to come back? Or what have you? What we eating tonight? Are we going to the store? Y'all are ready to take over and completely harass this woman on a 24-hour basis. That's
Nah, the texting and asking where you at. That's what women do for the most part. Hold on.
Just so y'all know, so we've been here for a while. I'm about to wrap this up. Do y'all want to say something before I end it?
The last thing I'm gonna say, I do maybe on your TikTok want to
I'm gonna see what
address.
they doing as soon as I get off
Hold on.
work. Are we hooking up tonight? Like y'all
Can you hear
on
me?
women. Like y'all know what to do. That's why we need y'all to have some fucking friends so y'all can leave women alone and let them fucking breathe. That shit's not attractive. But y'all will tear up a woman's day 7 days a fucking week. You want to know what she doing? That's all I'm gonna say. Leave the women alone. Where everybody
Uh,
go?
yeah,
I'm about to
yeah,
end it. I'm about
no,
to wrap it up,
hold on, Tara.
Douglas.
No, I do want to examine more of those men who don't have those type of relationships with they friends and how they translate that into the nuclear family, specifically their wives.
I mean, I think nuclear is a very like. It sounds like something a man will push. Like you don't have any friends. You don't care about community. You don't feel about connection. So yeah, you want to be just you and that woman and that children, so you can have the advantage. That's what it ended up being. East, did you want to say something? Or she must have stepped out. Y'all, thanks for coming. I might come back next Friday. We'll see. But I appreciate y'all.
All right, see ya. Holla.
Dark Horse came back. Did you want to say something, Dark Horse?
I don't know when I got cut off. I'm sorry. I'm
No, you
good.
fine. But I'm
Never
about to
gonna
wrap
stop.
it up because
All right.
I did say like 2 hours I was going to end it.
Okay, baby.
All right. Thanks
All
for
right, bye.
coming, Jean. Thanks, Eve. Thanks, Dark Horse. Thank you, Lynn. I appreciate y'all in the comments. Bye, y'all.
Woo-hoo.